Hi, welcome to Micro 171. Nigel Farage slapped down vocal Remain campaigner Anna Soubry after she suggested the government are planning to deliberately crash out of the European Union without a deal. The Conservative MP said her colleagues were preparing to quit the EU within 6 to 9 months, creating a catastrophic cliff edge for the economy. Mr Farage hit back at Ms Soubry, insisting her views on world trade and the single market are out of date. Brexit Secretary David Davis has warned MPs to accept Theresa May's negotiated Brussels divorce deal or face crashing out of the bloc without one. Discussing the possibility, Ms Soubry told BBC's Sunday Politics, "If you look at the way things are being flagged up, that actually both the Prime Minister and Boris Johnson say we should be asking them for some money back. I think the big fear is we will be crashing out in 6 months. I think they will stoke up the demands from the EU for £60 billion, and my very real concern is within 6 months when we're not making much progress and people are getting increasingly fed up with the EU, and then we crash out. The government is putting in place scaffolding at the bottom of the cliff to break our fall, and I think many in government are actually preparing not for a 2-year process but 6 to 9 months off the cliff, out we go." Mr Farage laughed at the Conservative MP's trail of thought, declaring it a lovely idea. He said, "It's a lovely thought, but I would just like to say to Anna Soubry, she's really a bit out of date with all of this. 40 years ago there was a good argument for joining the common market, because tariffs around the world were so high. All of that has fundamentally changed with the World Trade Organization, and we're leaving the European Union and rejoining a great big world out there. It's terribly exciting." Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson also moved to calm fears over the dangers of a crashing out of the EU without a deal. He told ITV's Peston on Sunday it would be perfectly okay if the Prime Minister decides to walk away empty-handed from her Brussels negotiations. Mr Johnson, however, claimed it was very likely a deal will be signed, expressing his confidence in the negotiating teams. "But the third thing, which I don't think people recognize, is that our partners, our friends around the EU desperately want this thing to work. They don't want more misery, they don't want to fall out with the UK," he added. Mr Davis told Andrew Marr the government had been working on a set of contingency plans to avoid any economic damage in the event of leaving the bloc without a deal. Commenting on the plans, Mr Johnson said, "I think that actually, as it happens, we would be perfectly okay if we weren't able to get an agreement, but I'm sure that we will, for the reasons that I gave.